Hey guys, welcome to this video. Today I'm going to share with you one of the common mistakes that pretty much everyone does. We all do it when we start trading. And whether you're a longer term investor or a shorter term trader, it will make a difference, of course, but it's always best to find the right entry point and not to jump too soon into a trade. Especially the lesson that I want to point out here would be, don't buy the news. Because a lot of the times, especially when you are new, you will be finding out about a coin when it's when everyone is talking about it, which means that you are buying the news. When everyone is talking about it, it's not the time to be buying; it's the time to sell. So yesterday I did exactly that mistake. So this is why I'm doing this video, even though I know that this is the wrong thing to do. Sometimes we make mistakes, and I did get caught up in the FOMO and the news about Ant shares, which is one of the coins that is currently going really strong. It's a Chinese exchange and it's really popular in China, so a lot of volume went into this, and it's been pumping for quite a while. Now what I did is, for quite some time I was watching it and I was resisting it. Somewhere around here is when it actually grabbed my attention, and I thought, no, this is too late. It's not really the right time to enter, and I decided not to do it. And later on, a few more people came to me, and a few more people were talking to me about it, and I realized, okay, this is now really pumping, and it's in uncharted territory. We don't really know how far it can go, and it might actually go even much further. So let me jump in and just so that I don't miss out, which is, this is when you're buying the news. This is when you're buying in FOMO, and this is the wrong thing to do. I knew it inside that it's not the right time to be going in because it is pumping a lot. I don't really recommend to anyone to be jumping on pumps, because after a pump, usually the market goes down. So that's pretty much always the case. You would have a pullback. The problem is, for instance, here, we expected a pullback, and it didn't really do it. It wasn't a proper pullback. It was literally just a consolidation for a moment, and then it continued. So when we reached this point here, and then there was a pullback, I was watching the market to see whether it's going to recover. It recovered quite well, and then it continued going up. At this point I decided, okay, let's just test it and see what's going to happen. So I got into the trade here at this point, which was at 48 or something like that, and then it went up a little bit, and then it started going down. And as soon as it started going down here on the red doji, I was selling it. So whatever I bought here, I sold not all of it, some of it I sold back here. That was a bit of a profit. But then I was watching the market, and it went down, it retracted a tiny bit, and it continued going up, which at that point I decided, okay, this is really still pumping, I'm going to get some more. So now I'm buying here, and even though inside I was thinking this might be reaching the point of real resistance here, and it might just plateau, but I bought a tiny amount just so that I'm in. And this is again, this is because I have experience. I didn't really go all in. And thank God, because luckily, as I knew, it started retracting big time after that. Even though it tried to recover, this was probably, a lot of this was orders that were placed already, and people who are kind of not analyzing the market very well. And then of course after that it started going in decline. At that point I purchased here, which was a better entry point than my previous one. But again, I purchased a small amount, and I waited for a better entry point, which I got here. And I thought that this is my best entry point, but we can see that later on today, so this was yesterday, today it actually went even lower. I had another buy order placed, and that got hit here at this point, and it went even further down. So right now, this should have been my best entry point. So it was really a mistake to be buying it up here when I could have bought it down here, and when I already knew that this market is going to retract. If we move out from the 5-minute chart, which I only wanted to show you my entry points here, if we go to 1 day, in fact, what we're going to see in 1 day is this green yesterday. Basically, the bar from yesterday was such a big parabolic pump that it really indicates that this will be coming down really soon. Even if it went further up, it wouldn't have been too much higher than that, and it would have to retract. It's just not possible for such a strong parabolic growth not to retract straight after that. So this is why it wasn't exactly a clever idea to be buying it up here. And you know, luckily I purchased small amounts here so that I just got entry points, but this was my fear of missing out. This is you know, my FOMO, and I want to make it clear to you guys that if you see a pump and everyone is talking about that coin and everyone is saying, oh, this is gonna go through the roof, this is, you know, to the moon, all of those things, just wait, because even if it goes further up, when it's so sudden, it will definitely retract, and these are your better entry points here. I mean, in the long term, I know that I'm not really worried because this is creating a lot of hype right now, so it will definitely keep going up. But I could have bought it here, which would have been a much better entry point, therefore I would have a much better gain. And you know, we're talking about here from 35 Satoshi, 35,000 up to 50,000 Satoshi. You know, this is quite a difference. So that's why, lesson learned. I mean, I know that lesson, yet I made the mistake. You will probably make that mistake as well. Pretty much everyone does it at some point, especially in the beginning. But just remember this, always wait for a better entry point. If you feel that you need to jump in because things are really happening and you know, it's really taking off, jump in with a little amount, because you're not guaranteed that it will continue going too far. You might be, just like here, like myself, you might be buying it at the point where it's reaching that resistance, and because you are looking at a chart that looks like this, at this point you actually don't know what's going to happen after that. You don't know if it's going to continue and have another 3 green bars, or it's going to have, you know, a couple of red ones and retract really strongly down. Also, try to find out where are the points of support. For instance, here, when it was going down, I identified this point here as a support level, and I was looking at these candles here. So I identified this level and I had placed an order to buy. So as soon as it went down, it hit my order, and I didn't even realize that I was buying it, because at the time I was probably looking at a different coin. And then when I went back and looked at that, I found out that I actually purchased it. Then you know, I was tempted to start selling around here, but I decided that this has a lot more potential, so I'm gonna look at it longer term. And then I looked at other entry points. We already saw these candles reaching down here, so that indicated that the market will probably come and test it again, this level. This is why I placed another order, which was lower than my previous one, and it was here at the bottom of these candles. So this is when I actually purchased it, because, you know, it needed some time to reach there, and it did. So I managed to buy it at even a better entry point. So finding out which are the levels of support is really important, and also anticipating where would be the level for resistance is very important. There are many videos online, many people are teaching about support and resistance. I urge you to go and watch as many as you can, because the more advice you get from different people and their experiences, you know, the better, the easier for you would be to make up your own idea on how it's going to work and what can you do. So I hope that this advice is going to help you guys, and feel free to give me the thumbs up or thumbs down, and maybe just leave a comment and share your experience. Let me know if you've done something like that, and how did it go? Did you just wait for it to come back and sell it at profit, or did you go and panic sell it when it was retracing and you know, going down, pulling down? This will be interesting for me to find out. I personally don't really sell, at losses. I don't do panic sales, and even if I see that I'm missing the momentum to sell, I become a pack holder and I'm just holding it for the longer term. Right now, the crypto market is a growing market. It is, it's getting stronger and stronger every day. More and more people are coming into this market. So in the longer term, I see that all of these coins have a potential to grow, and especially in the next 6 to 9 months, definitely. And this is important because even those coins that we think right now we are at loss, we have time to get a profit and sell them. I'm not looking at, when I say long term, I'm not looking at 3 or 5 years, because I don't really know what to expect from this market in 3 or 5 years, what kind of regulations might come into place that may cause a big crash on the market or something. So I'm looking at 6, 9 months to a year. Alright guys, this is everything for this video. I'm gonna come back with another tip in my next one, so stay tuned.